Now, what we see in a general playing 11 in the IPL is an odd Aussie or two is in between a lot of Indians. Now, what the broadcasters have done is got me between three Aussies, Brad Hogg, familiar faces, Dean Jones and Damien Fleming. And they're all seated in a select dugout, which is now quite familiar, I would imagine, with the viewers as well. And we're going to all try, and they're all nice Aussies, and we're going to try and converse some cricket with them. Guys, we can move to the dugout pitch maybe and take this forward. Brad, tell me, this is a bit different, isn't it? I mean, you've been used to, sitting with mic'd up and in commentary with air conditioning and all of that. I mean, and the AC is fine here, but the conversations are different.
Yeah, they're a lot different, and it's really relaxed as well, and you can really interact with the viewer about what's actually happening out in the game. If something does happen, you can describe it with a lot more length than what you do in general commentary. So we can get up here and generally show the viewer an example of what's happened, whether it's bowling actions, batting actions, and where to bowl to players.
Dean, I mean, I guess a bit more space for storytelling as well. I mean, you can go back in time in that sense. Obviously, ball-to-ball commentary is a bit different.
Oh, it is. We can do a lot of things in that regards and talk a lot of stories, and we've got plenty of them. Don't worry about that, and we make a few up as well. So, but all in all, look, I love this platform. The fact that not only can we commentate, that we can go up and show by example, that we show by analytics. Very important that we find bowlers and batsmen's weaknesses and strengths, where to bowl to, where not to bowl to. And then you've got to talk about, can the bowlers execute? Do the batsmen believe in these game plans? It's just a lot of fun.
I mean, obviously, this is a lot more cozier. Three Aussies talking with each other. I guess when you put an Englishman in, it gets a bit different.
Yeah, I'm not keen on the Englishman. I thought Nasser was saying yesterday he was a bit prickly, wasn't he? Particularly when I brought up Sir Vivian Richards 32 years ago, had scored the quickest 100 of all time, 56 balls against England, Nasser. He didn't give me much, but no, it's fantastic. We want to make sure that we're giving as much insights as possible. We've got, as Dino said, the analysis is fantastic. We've got Hawkeye, but I reckon in this demo zone, this is what we've got that other commentary teams don't. We've got the ability to come on out of the select dugout and actually show why bowlers are bowling out swingers, what type of slow balls they're bowling, and obviously the batsmen can talk about reverse sweeps and shots over cover and all that. So to actually have that flexibility to commentate, give insights, tell stories, as Dino was talking about, but then also to give a practical example of how the modern day player is dominating the IPL, that's what I'm enjoying.
It'd be great to get your insights for our viewers as well, Brad. I mean, what is it about the wrist spinners in T20 or IPL? I mean, you're getting finger spinners out of business.
Well, they've got quicker arm actions now, and they've just got so much variety. I just love it. The wrong-uns, I just can't believe how they're bamboozling batsmen at the moment. You look out, Mujeeb has just come on. He bowled a wrong-un to Virat Kohli and just bowled him through the gate. It's just something special to see a young bowler come on the scene and do something to a great player, and he's going to be even greater when he's finished his career, Kohli. But I'm just loving it. There's so much energy out there with leg spin. There's Gayle, there's Mark and Day that's come on the scene as well, and they've just got wickets and dominated and kept the run rate down, which is more important as well.
That was quite a statement, wasn't it, Dean, to see a young Afghan spinner come and beat the Indian cricket captain, who's in many ways leading a lot of the formats of the game today.
It's amazing where the game's gone. We've seen a lot of good young kids starting to come through, and all of a sudden they're thrown in front of 45,000 people at the ground, and then of course we've got hundreds of millions of people watching around the world, and we've got a 17-year-old kid bowling against the best player in the world and knocks him over. Now, is that good TV or what? And then you get, as Hoggy just said before, Makande is a good young kid that's starting to come through, wrong-uns and legs breaks and all this type of stuff. Look, IPL's always throwing up new players, and it's no doubt in the last 10 years, because of IPL, is one of the major reasons why India have done very well over the last 10 years. It's got different coaches from other countries around the world, emphasis on fitness, emphasis on preparation, and also the facilities, because of the money that's been raised through IPL, it's been put back into facilities for young kids to come up through academies. It's fantastic.
I mean, you call yourself a professor. We all love calling you a professor. When you put that hat on, what is it that one can, for a finger spinner, can do, or say what can an R. Ashwin look to do? I mean, he's tried a few things. He's trying the leg spinner as well. But obviously, when the batsman is on the attack all the time, I mean, he's obviously working to get his India place back as well. In that sense, all of those things working on the mind. What is it that he can look to do?
Look, I think because the cricketers are very smart and they work you out in a heartbeat. You have behavioural patterns. Certain bowlers do certain things, batsmen do their own things. And of course now they're trying to reinvent themselves. Now Ashwin's trying to sell, now I'm going to bowl more leg breaks. Now we're about to find out, are these leg breaks better than his normal off spinners? Dhawan, for example, has changed his game plan to him 12 months ago. We know this from the analytics. Yep. We see this. Now he used to be hitting the ball down the ground. Now he's, instead of going forward, his footwork patterns, now he's going back looking to hook it and cut it. Now you've got to keep up with these players' thinking as a bowler, because all of a sudden you bowl in the wrong zones, you get to 4 and 6, and we thought, well, hang on, we don't know. He was like this last year. So as a player, you've got to keep reinventing yourself. You can't be doing the same thing.
And for the tournament itself, Brad, it's a good thing to see Dhoni knock the other night. I mean, when a player of his stature comes up with a vintage performance like this, it adds to the tournament. It adds to the anticipation of the fans. Yeah,
it's been his highest score for a long time too. So we haven't seen the best of MS Dhoni over the last couple of years, and it's good to see him get a little bit of form. Up there with Kohli being one of the main Indian players in this IPL, you want those players to perform because it's encouraging for the kids coming out. They look up to these older cricketers. They want to see them perform. They want to see the success, and we don't want to see them, go through a rough patch for too long. We want them out their best, and that's when the game's most exciting.
But there's a peculiar way in the manner in which someone like an MS Dhoni looks to chase, isn't it? He likes to keep it towards the very end, and he does it his way. And there are days when it will not come off, and people would think maybe he could have raised the ante a little bit earlier. Yeah,
he's brilliant at chasing. I still think Kohli's probably learned from Dhoni and got it better. He's been a little bit rusty of late, but again, he got so close again last night. So, but I still think Kohli's. His record is just phenomenal. He's just doing things that like 20 years ago, if we showed you the stats, we'd be thinking, no, come on, there's no way known that such a person can do as well as he's done. So many runs already. Who would ever get past Sachin Tendulkar or be on track to pass Sachin Tendulkar's records? That's phenomenal as he is a player. And MS, it's coming to a stage where it's T20 cricket. We would have liked to have it around. Damien and Hogg, well, Hoggy's been playing it, but Damien and I would have loved to have played T20 cricket to finish our careers off, but unfortunately this format wasn't around.
And Virat Kohli, Damon, probably he'd want to succeed as a captain as well. The only thing that he hasn't won yet, as a leader, an IPL success. This is something he'd be keen on. Does he have the team to do it this time?
Well, I think it's pretty even, isn't it, between the teams? So if Virat Kohli gets going and their top 4 get going, De Kock and McCullum and also AB de Villiers, he'll probably keep his spot, you would have thought. What a gun, AB. Can't believe I said that. So there's no reason why they can't get there, and Virat obviously ticks off his last thing, captaining a successful IPL team. I'm getting a bit bored of you talking about spinning and batsmen, because it's the fast bowlers that win games. They win IPL. So I want to talk about Bhuvi Kumar. How well is he swinging the ball and all his varieties, backed up by Call. He's got the headband and he's got everything else. He's been fantastic with his knuckleball. They've got big Billy Stanlake there too, 204 centimetres of pace. So the Sunrisers have got plenty of quality spinners, but also more importantly those trio of fast bowlers. And we saw last night Mohit Sharma under pressure, bowling to MS Dhoni, the great finisher, and guess what? He got himself home with the different varieties. So I'm excited about the fast bowlers in the IPL as well.
But they don't look for your trade, swing bowling in this format, do they?
Bhuvi does. That's why Bhuvi's my favourite, to be honest, because he swings it both ways. And also, he's upskilled, hasn't he? Like, he's always had different types of cutters and back of the hands, but that knuckleball's working a treat. And we saw in Mohali, there was probably 2 or 3 overs where the ball does swing. So as a swing bowler, you've got to identify that. You've got to bowl full. You've got to get into that avenue of apprehension, bring in the keeper and the slips, because if you get 1 or 2 wickets in the power play, generally you'll go on to win the game. So we don't want it to be a lost art. It's a learnt skill, and I want to see more swing bowling in the IPL.
And how about the Gayle knock the other night? I mean, they almost didn't pick him. As an afterthought he was, and he played the knock that he used to all these years.
The universe boss. It was probably a very good selection, has to be said, because we didn't think of that. And when we sit down and we have our own game plan, we sit down and do our analysis, and all of a sudden we've gone, sorry, who's playing? And then he's come out and played beautifully. And then we sat down. It was terrific judgment by Hogg and Co to actually say, well, there's not much pace from the CSK bowling attack. We know through the analytics that he doesn't do that well against super quick guys of late. So it was the perfect time to bring him in, and by gee, when he hits them, all of a sudden he gets 60 off 30, you're going to make 200 most times.
As we look to close this, perhaps a trend that each of you may have picked up, it's early days in the IPL, but any team that's impressed you more than the others, or any trend that you picked up?
Sunrisers Hyderabad have really impressed me. If you've got a good bowling unit, the defensive game is the game that wins you. You've got to have a decent bowling unit. They don't have the powerhouse batting unit like other teams like RCB or even the Mumbai Indians. They have a steady batting lineup that get the job done, and they know that their bowlers can defend any total.
All right. What about you, Dean? Anything that you picked up?
Well, again, there's been that trend of batting second and winning most games. Now, I get the feeling, and I think the boys would agree with me, I think that's starting to change a little bit. They've got to change the mindset of the teams batting first and start to think, what's the average winning score at this ground? It's 180, right? How do we chase 180? Now, last couple of games they've done that and did it well. I've always liked to get runs on the board first, and if you've got a good bowling attack to back it up, it's pretty good. But the trend will start to change. The teams will start winning batting first, I can tell you.
Any talking point for you, Damien?
No, just backing up the boys there. I think most teams know so much about their matchups, so they're keen to get that going. You saw the other night when Narayan dropped down to number 4, they didn't want to bowl spin to him, so they had Stanlake up their sleeves. So it's those sort of matchups that you like. And even for the teams, the Sunrisers, I think, got a really good defensive bowling unit. Mumbai Indians, they lost 3 in a row last year and still won the IPL, so they're not out of it. They're playing quite well, but why aren't they finishing it at the end? So I just think you get yourself into the finals, you're a chance, aren't they? If a batsman catches fire and gets going, that can be enough to take you on to get the Vivo IPL 2018 Championship.
You're talking a lot about your Red Book. Anything coming out of it now? Anything new?
I'm glad you brought this up.
Touchy subject.
It is I've got a feeling that these two gentlemen here have had some play in it, and there will be some criminal investigations being made, and I have no doubt that I'll be bringing the police in.
If it does get into the hands of any team, I will be backing that team to win the IPL.
But the players know about it now.
Yeah, they do. Look, honestly, it's just
Rashid Khan say?
Rashid Khan just started and said, "Please, coach, don't let them know how to play him," because honestly, his record as a leg spin bowler is just phenomenal. And I've got a couple of little things in there. It's, I think, page 63 around there. Have you got, honestly, you guys have got it, haven't you? Look at Hoggy. He's
That's
definitely.
why he's the professor.
There it is there. No, it's a lot of fun.
Coaching manual.
That's it.
Gold. It is gold.
No, Brad Hogg doesn't need a book to answer this. Tell me, the Indian spinners, I'll close this with this question. The Indian spinners, Jadeja and Ashwin, looking to fight for their place back into white ball cricket. What couldn't they expect out of this IPL?
Oh, look, I think Ashwin, he's got that variety of leg spin now, but I think he's going to have to make sure that he adapts down the track when batsmen start to work that out and really take full toll of him and put the pressure back on him. Is he going to go back to his off spins? And that's probably the big question there. Jadeja, he's been out of sorts for the last year or two, last 18 months. He's not that reliable with the ball at the moment. He's got to find something different to make a difference in this IPL. He can't just bowl what he's been doing over the last 10 years. He's got to adapt and change like everyone else. If you don't adapt and change, you're slowly going to find your way out the back door.
Right. Thanks, gentlemen. Keep going, keep the batter going. So that's me signing off from the Select Dugout.